I want you to picture the credit cards and debit cards that you currently have on you, in your wallet or on your phone. And I want you to think about everything you've bought or paid for on those accounts in the last 2 days. What would you have done without those cards? Do you have enough cash? How long would that cash last you? What if those cards were not a source of money, but a source of information for someone abusing you? Where you were, when, what you bought, where. Information for your controlling, abusive partner to make sure you're following their rules about who you can see and what you can do. This is one picture of what economic abuse can look like. Economic abuse is central to coercive control. And do you know how many women experiencing domestic violence experience economic abuse? Between 78 and 99%. Economic abuse in the context of domestic violence can take many, many forms. But there are three main categories. Control, such as the example I just shared with you. Exploitation, such as making your partner pay all the bills or building up debts in their name. And sabotage, undermining someone's employment or possibly not letting them work at all. Economic abuse makes living a healthy life impossible. At the Centre for Women's Economic Safety, we understand there is no safety without economic safety. So how do you restore your economic safety when someone is abusing you? You're being monitored, you're under threat, and you're told so often how stupid you are. Your dignity is at stake. You're concerned about your privacy. You've got no money. You're very likely feeling overwhelmed. We asked Australians where they would turn if they were experiencing different forms of domestic violence. More respondents said they wouldn't know where to go for support for economic abuse than any other form of intimate partner violence. We set up money clinics to address this gap. Money clinics provide free, confidential, factual financial information to women experiencing domestic violence and economic abuse. We provide one-on-one sessions in easy-to-access community venues. We try and create a safe and warm space that upholds dignity and protects privacy. Let me tell you about Natasha. Natasha was one of the first women to come to a money clinic when we ran a small pilot of the program last year. It was actually in that room with the bad selfie. She seemed nervous as she came in. As we started to talk, she kept checking her mobile phone every few seconds. She apologised to me and she explained she was just afraid her husband would find out what she was doing. He had already installed security cameras inside the house to keep an eye on her. So she'd come to see me in her lunch break from work because it was the only time of day she didn't have to explain her whereabouts to him. He controlled everything, even her part-time income. Natasha had made that difficult decision that she wanted to leave. But she knew she was going to be leaving with nothing, so she wanted to get her ducks in a row. Her biggest concern was where she was going to live. She wasn't sure on her part-time income that she would be able to live near where she worked. So she'd been to see the housing department, and she'd learnt that to access affordable housing, she needed to submit a budget as part of her application. Well, after 25 years of his economic control, she'd never managed money. She didn't know what to expect. We were able to spend her lunchtime working through her income, her likely expenses, and put together a budget for her. Every woman who comes to a money clinic receives a 10-step guide to restoring economic safety. This is an intervention that increases knowledge of the options available. It reduces stress and it can save money. But women who come to a money clinic could walk through that door with any financial issue, from the relatively simple case of needing a budget like Natasha did, or perhaps understanding a credit report, through to much more complex issues, insurance, self-managed super. So this requires broad financial knowledge and expertise in economic abuse and how it interacts with our various systems. It requires women who are violence-informed and trauma-informed. And if we are to walk the talk on women's economic safety, we need to fund this expertise. In Natasha's case, she was able to take that budget to the housing department and as a result, secured a place to live and left her abusive husband. And you know how she described to me her experience of the money clinic? A godsend. There are many more Natashas out there that we could support with your help. Every $100 you pledge tonight will support us to provide specialist assistance to a woman experiencing or escaping domestic violence and economic abuse. Do you know how many call-outs police get every day to domestic violence around Australia? More than 700. In the last hour alone, police will have been called to 30 domestic violence incidents. If you were to pledge $3,000 to the Centre for Women's Economic Safety, that would enable 30 women to access a money clinic. And if you're ready to change the landscape about how we respond to economic abuse in Australia, an investment of $50,000 would fund money clinics for a whole year. Money clinics can't solve everything, but without getting your finances sorted, you can't solve anything. And for some, it will be a godsend. Thank you.
The total that we came to was 79,000. Oh, and what incredible support from the other presenters.
I know.
Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you so much. Thank you, the Funding Network and AMP Foundation for actually making this a reality for me and for Centre for Women's Economic Safety. I echo Alicia's comments. It's been awesome working with these two and Uncle Rob. And Margie, after a year of your volunteering, you're going to get paid tomorrow. Thank you so much.
And the sunlight hurts my eye.